Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thanks for joining me. I'm Katie and I don't like saying I'm reviewing a product because I'm not. I kind of just get a new material and I kind of like to share my findings with you guys. So I guess that's what this is. So today I'm looking at the Stuart Semple World's Colouriest Watercolours. Do they live up to the hype is what I want to know. So this set consists of 36 colours and I'll just run through the names. There's one I can't pronounce so we'll see how that goes. And they are in the order that I'm painting them on screen. So the first one is Saint, Soft Chalk, Happy, Sensei, Crush, 15 Minutes, Vincent, Raygun, Art Star, Runaway, Jealous, Pink, Bowie, Dropout, Slave, Haze, Always, Dive, King Zulu, 1980, Zoltar, Alchemy, Envy, Venom, Emerald City, Grudge, Loser, Monster, Swamp, Wheatfield, this is the one I can't pronounce after, and then we go to Bullion, Butt Nugget, which is an awesome name for a paint, Stump, Dirtbag and Void. Now swatching these beauties out was great. They looked so lovely and vibrant on them little squares I've painted there, and so far I was quite happy. A couple of the colours were quite pale, for example Dropout and Bowie. I think they could have had a bit more to it, but that's just how it is. And I did have to get the pink to work a little harder than I expected, because it's, I mean, you can see on screen it is like neon pink, but on paper I did have to work a little harder. The palette itself is a plastic clamshell. You've got two sponges either side, and it also comes with a water brush and a detachable mixing palette, but I tend not to use them very often because I don't know, I kind of just like me little ceramic ones and me little dishes from the pound shops and your dollar store equivalents, you know what I mean. I like to improvise and they're okay for travelling, but I don't travel with them all that much. For a swatched it on was the Hahnemühle 425 GSM watercolour paper, just so you know, and I cut it to size so it would fit in the palette. You did get a printout of swatches, but hey, we all like to do a swatch when we've got new paints, right? Now, I'd been eyeing these up before Christmas. I wanted to treat myself for the new year with a new palette, and this was before Arte Mystique very kindly made and sent one over to me. So this arrived about a week before that one did, so I swatched them first and then I've worked this week on a painting because I wanted to use the Daniel Smith ones first. You can't blame me. But like I said, I'd been weighing up which watercolour palette to get, where to get it from, and I settled on this one because it boasted artist quality material, well, artist quality pigments. You know, they're really light, fast, all the boxes ticked, and it was affordable, and they kept the price down to as low as possible to make it affordable to everyone, but put high quality pigments in there. So naturally I thought, okay, let's give this one a try, but it was £40. That's not a cheap palette really, considering my White Night, my large White Night set with the full pans in there cost me about £35, so you can see there's a bit of a difference for how much I get with each one. The paints themselves are not poured in, it's like there's a bar of paint which is sliced up and set into the wells, which are integrated with the palette, which is really annoying because I'm not really fussed about the placement of my paints. I kind of know which colour I'm working from. However, I do like to be able to remove the pans now and then, or at least separate them, because sometimes the water can run from one colour into another and then you contaminate the colour, and this was something that kept happening with this palette, which really annoyed me, because they're only half pans and you're having to use colour or waste paints to try and save the colour, and it was really annoying, and that kept happening a lot. And I didn't overfill the pans, but obviously when you're sort of swirling it around on the pigment, on the actual watercolour itself, you are going to get water moving around, and it just that really irked me. Isn't irked a good word? But that's what it did. But anyway, let's talk about the painting. So the figure I've got here is, well, we can say she's a mermaid, and I wanted to perhaps just see what a mermaid's reaction would be like for the first time of looking on the surface of the water. So she's popped her head out of the ocean for the first time, very happy underwater for a long time. Curiosity got the better of her, and she's just popped up in the evening and she's doing a hair shampoo advert hair flick, because why not, right? I wanted to have quite a nice twilight sky, but this is where I started noticing problems with the paint. So them little squares of swatches that I did are lovely. You know, I've got quite a large concentration of colour in one space, and they do look amazingly vibrant, and if I use them neat, that's wonderful. But that's what gouache is for, in my opinion anyway. If I wanted a thick blocky colour, I'd use gouache, not watercolours, because that's just ridiculous. You're not going to have the same level of opacity and vibrancy. So I think I digressed a little there, but I did a wet on wet for the sky, and it's just not as dark as I wanted it to be. And I was so surprised, because I didn't just use pale colours. I mean, that pink, I really had to work hard to get that pink working, but it did. But I've also got a fluorescent watercolour palette, which was really cheap, and that's got better pigmentation than that pink. So I was a bit annoyed. But I wanted that as my lay down colour. And then I used Slave and Haze, and I do believe a touch of Zoltar. It seems weird saying these names. I must admit, I like the names of these paints, but that's it. And I just couldn't get it dark enough, so I tried using Void, which is the black, and no, it just wasn't working. I really felt like it was an absolute struggle to try and get this to work. And this is why this video is in two parts, because I gave up painting on this. I just reached a point where I'm like, I can't use these paints for this picture anymore. And I did just want this to solely be painting only. I think I probably might have used a bit of gel pen on there, but that's nothing new. Everything else I wanted to paint it in, and none of the pigments seemed to be dark enough. And I was just getting so frustrated, and layering the colours, I never seemed to feel like I was getting anywhere with it. And I don't know, maybe it's my level of experience. I'm not exactly a master with watercolours, but I like to think I know what I'm doing in certain areas, and it just wasn't happening. It really just was not happening, and that's just not as dark as I wanted it to be. So like I say, I just gave up. I tried to fill in the ocean and add a bit more details there, but I think that was the final straw, because the colour laydown just really wasn't doing it for me. And it's so disappointing, and I was so surprised, because I'd got such a lot of high hopes for it. But all is not lost. I took the masking tape off. I haven't signed it because I haven't finished it, and I thought, right, I'm going to do something, and that will be in the next video. And I chucked some more materials at it. So this watercolour piece ends up being a mixed media one. Would I recommend this palette? Oh, well, it's entirely up to you. You're not here to watch whether I'm recommending anything or not. I personally won't be buying another one, but I will try my best to use it. Anyway, it's sort of turned into a bit of a rant, this video, and that's not what I intended. I just wanted to paint you a nice picture with my new paints. As always, thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you for part 2, and I promise you this picture gets so much better. Anyway, I'll see you around, guys. Bye!